Parents, how did the system fail your child? My daughter kept getting zeros on her math tests, even though we practiced every night at home. She knew the material perfectly. Emma would solve complex problems at our kitchen table, explaining each step with confidence, walking me through multiplication and division like she was the teacher. But every Friday, she'd come home with another failing grade, tears streaming down her face. When I asked for a meeting, her teacher, Mrs. Rodriguez, said Emma just wasn't trying hard enough. She claimed Emma was distracted, lazy, and needed to apply herself better. She pulled out a folder full of Emma's failed tests, spreading them across her desk like evidence in a court case. But something felt off about how defensive she got when I mentioned Emma's perfect homework scores and how well she performed on practice tests at home. The meeting lasted 20 minutes and I left feeling like I was the problem parent. Mrs. Rodriguez had been teaching for 15 years and made it clear she knew what she was talking about. She even suggested we get Emma tested for learning disabilities, handing me pamphlets about attention disorders and tutoring services. I spent that whole night questioning whether I was missing something obvious about my own daughter. So I decided to volunteer as a classroom helper. I told them I wanted to support the kids during math time, help with supplies, anything they needed. Mrs. Rodriguez seemed annoyed, but couldn't really say no to a parent volunteer without looking suspicious. She assigned me to organize materials in the back corner where I could see the whole classroom. During the math test, I watched Mrs. Rodriguez walk around the room checking on students. Everything seemed normal at first. She'd pause at desks, nod encouragingly, whisper quiet reminders about checking their work. But then she got to Emma's desk. I was standing across the room organizing supplies when I saw her quietly erase 2 of Emma's correct answers and mark them wrong with red ink. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. My heart started racing and I thought maybe I was mistaken, so I kept watching closely. She moved to another desk and did the exact same thing to a boy named Marcus, whose mother had also complained about sudden grade drops. Then she walked over to a girl named Sophia and erased her work too. All kids whose parents had complained about their grades during recent parent-teacher conferences. My hands were shaking as I pretended to keep organizing papers and supplies. This woman was deliberately sabotaging children's test scores for some twisted reason. I pulled out my phone and started recording from across the room, catching her in the act of erasing another student's correct answer. After the test ended, I waited for all the kids to leave for recess. I confronted her directly in the empty classroom. I know what you did during that test. I saw you erase Emma's correct answers and I have it on video. Her face went completely red and she started stammering about teaching kids resilience through failure. She claimed she was helping them learn to handle disappointment in the real world. That success came too easily to some children. I pulled out my phone and showed her the recording. Why Bildi, Homsafandram. Something about her mujhed price car kamafsi if I misig. Oh my fun! Tell me again how erasing correct answers helps my daughter learn. Mrs. Rodriguez realized what was happening and tried to grab my phone, lunging across her desk, but I stepped back and kept recording her complete meltdown as she screamed about interfering parents and ungrateful children. The next day, I showed the recording to the principal along with Emma's erased test paper. You could still see the faint marks where her original answers had been under the eraser marks. The principal's face went white as she examined the evidence, calling in the district superintendent immediately. Mrs. Rodriguez was fired within 48 hours and escorted from the building. The investigation revealed she'd been sabotaging kids she didn't like for over 2 years, targeting students whose parents questioned her methods. Parents of her former students started coming forward with similar stories about their children's mysterious grade drops and sudden loss of confidence. Emma's confidence came back instantly when she realized she wasn't actually bad at math. Our new teacher says she's one of the brightest students she's ever had and recommended her for the advanced math program next year. The principal apologized personally, and Emma received honor roll recognition for the rest of the year. Sometimes you have to trust your instincts when something doesn't feel right about your child's education. Your kids are counting on you to be their voice.